For the last 3 weeks, we have been working on building our sourdough starter, and now it is finally time for us to be able to use it. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen, and welcome back to my channel. And this week we are going to be doing kind of a little challenge that I'm doing for myself. Is I'm trying to use my sourdough starter every day for this next week. And it's so I could just kind of start learning some new recipes that I can try, and also getting into the habit of starting to use the sourdough starter. For the next 7 days, I am going to be trying a different type of recipe. I didn't want to do just bread for the whole entire week because there are a lot of different ways that you can use your sourdough starter. So each day is going to be a different recipe that I have found online, and I'm going to show you how I use my sourdough starter for the next 3 days also, or for the next 7 days, to also be able to give you an idea of some ways that you can use your sourdough starter. My plan of attack for how I am planning on doing this each day is the day before I am looking at the recipe that I selected, and I'm looking to see how much sourdough starter is needed for that recipe. And I'm making sure that I am feeding my sourdough starter enough the day before to make sure that I have enough to be able to use in my recipe the next day. Today is day 1, and let's get this challenge started. everyone. Today is day 2 of my challenge, and yesterday I made a chicken pot pie with a pie crust. That was my very first time ever making a pie crust from scratch, and it was very tasty. I thoroughly enjoyed my dinner last night, and we'll be making that again, and that I'll be posting that recipe in the description box below. And also, I wanted to say that that recipe also said where you can like freeze it. And so I'm planning on in the future making extra and freezing them so that way I'll already have them made because that's how I like to roll. And for today, we're going to be using sourdough discard to make, we're making tortillas. So yesterday, whenever I made my chicken pot pie, I took half of the chicken and I reserved it for today's dinner. We're going to have chicken quesadillas, and I'm going to use the sourdough discard today to make the tortillas. And this recipe is from a blog called Milk and Pop. And so we're going to give that a try and to see how those are today. Today is day 3 of my challenge, that me trying to use my sourdough starter every day for a week with different recipes. And yesterday we made tortillas, and they were decent. They were, I don't think the best tortillas I've ever had, but they were they tasted fine. They tasted good. I think maybe because we were planning on having chicken quesadillas, they didn't work out very well because they were a little bit smaller, and it didn't. I was expecting them to be a little bit bigger, and they didn't fold very easily to make the quesadillas. So that's kind of it. But I mean, they still tasted good, and I may make them again, but I might try and find another recipe. And try a different one just to see, but it was still a decent recipe, and they still came out all right. And so today's recipe, we're going to be using our sourdough starter to make pizza dough, and we're going to have pizza for dinner. So this recipe, I found it on, it was on Pinterest, but yet another allergy blog is where I got this recipe from. So we're going to make the dough this morning because it says it needs to sit and rest for 2 to 12 hours before baking. So we're going to do that this morning so that way it'll be ready for dinner time. Good morning, everyone. Today is day 4 of my challenge for using my sourdough starter every day for a week. And last night I made pizza, and it was pretty good. I might make that recipe again. I kind of liked the pizza dough from my bread machine in my other video just a little bit better. But I would also say that I was expecting to be able to have a couple of pizzas out of that dough, and that was only enough to feed 3 of people in my family. So thankfully 2 of my kids were at work. So that worked out just fine for last night, but if I do use that recipe again, I'll have to double it to make sure that there is enough dough for me to make at least 2 pizzas for my family. And today, for day 4, I am going to be making a sourdough peach cobbler. I'm not going to eat it. I do not like peach cobbler. I don't like hot fruit. Like, I'm not a big fruit dessert person. but the rest of the family is gonna give it a try. And so yeah, that I found that recipe on the blog Lemon Zest and Basil. Good morning. It's another day using our sourdough starter for my challenge this week. And yesterday I made the peach cobbler, and I didn't eat like the peaches part because I don't like hot fruit. But my husband said that that recipe was definitely a keeper, and I tasted the top, like the breading crust part. It was really good. So definitely gonna be saving that recipe and using that to make, and it was also very easy. I love very easy, simple recipes, especially whenever it comes to like baking, because I'm not a huge baker, so this is all very new to me, trying a lot of these recipes. One of the days this week I was supposed to be doing one of the Dutch oven sourdough breads, and there's a couple of reasons why I decided not to do that. And the first reason is I don't think that my sourdough starter is strong enough yet to do the bread. It does not consistently, it's too early, double in size. And I'm feeding it twice a day. I mean, it's still fine, but I just don't think it's strong enough yet. And also the other reason is I did not realize how much effort and time it actually takes in creating a sourdough loaf. It's like a very long process. And so I wasn't really prepared for that. So we're just going to keep chucking on with doing regular recipes for this week. And we'll definitely be trying a regular sourdough loaf one day soon. But today I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do. Oh God, Skippy. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do banana muffins or gonna do a sourdough bread in the bread machine. So it'll be a surprise as to which one I do today. Good afternoon, everyone. Today has been a crazy day in the Remington household. Just things change plans. So originally I was supposed to be making sourdough pancakes this morning for breakfast. That didn't happen. And so today it's just been, a crazy day. But what we're going to do instead is I'm going to make some sourdough cinnamon muffins that I found. And I am also going to take the time to prep for what I'm making tomorrow. I'm going to make the dough tonight. We are going to have sourdough chocolate chip scones tomorrow for breakfast. It is a recipe that I found that you are able to prep it the night before and leave it in the fridge and it'll be ready to bake the next morning. So we're going to do that today. Good morning. Today is day 7 of my final challenge that I did for myself using my sourdough starter every day for 7 days with different recipes. And I was supposed to last night get started on the scone dough for us to have for today for breakfast. But again, life happened and I wasn't able to do it. So we're going to get it done today. Hi everyone. It is a beautiful Sunday evening and I'm just sitting on my back porch and just thinking about this past week, and I wanted to share just a little bit of a reflection of what happened and how I'm planning to go forward in the future with my sourdough starter. So this week we tried 7 days, 7 recipes using sourdough starter and discard. And I have to say, there has been a lot of dishes and it was a lot of work. Me, during the week, I work full time. Doing all of that was quite a bit. Now, it was very tasty and enjoyable, but it was still a lot of extra work. So I do not think that I'm going to be doing this every single day. Do I see myself in the future like saving up my discard in the fridge and maybe having several baking days a month to bake and prepare, or freeze dough, things like that? Yes. But doing something every single day, using it every single day, it is just not feasible for me. So that's just kind of, the first thing in my head that I was thinking about this week was it was a lot of extra work and a lot of extra dishes. And the second thing that I was thinking about was just, I was trying to show a different variety of different ways that you can use the sourdough starter or discard, and that was what I wanted to look to. I don't want to just always have sweets or breads, so I was trying to look at different options to be able to provide some better tasting, better quality foods to help with like dinners and things like that. And for all of the recipes that I tried this week, I have to say that my favorites were the pie crust for the chicken pot pie that I made. The pie crust turned out really good. I actually enjoyed the crust of the peach cobbler. I didn't eat any of the peaches or anything, but that crust on that peach cobbler, it was amazing. And I would have to say that the top other thing that I made, I would have to say, was probably the cinnamon sugar muffins that I had made yesterday. Those turned out pretty good as well. It kind of reminded me of like a snickerdoodle. I do enjoy snickerdoodle cookies, so it's kind of like a snickerdoodle muffin, I guess. But yeah, so I think that's why I enjoyed that as well. And I'm going to be posting all of the links below to where I found the recipes, so if you guys want to give them a try, they'll be right there for you. And I guess that means that that's a wrap on this week's video. I hope you found it enjoyable, and maybe you might try some of these recipes too. And if you have any questions, please comment below. And I hope you have a blessed day. I didn't hit record. Hello! Thank God for editing. Want to know what you can do with extra pie dough? It's like anxiety, squishy. Yeah, one of them stress balls. It's too early. Brain fart. Hit the record button.